Hey guys, sorry I was a few minutes late. I had to change my setup here. So I did a live last night and I was gonna save it and post it on my story after, but my phone died, so I didn't get to do that. So I'm going to do the same style that I did on my live last night again. That way I can post that, and if you wanted to see the whole thing last night, at least this will hopefully make up for the fact that it got deleted. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions along the way. I just took a picture of my little sketch I did in my notebook, and I took it into Procreate. So you go up to the wrench, add, and then take a photo, and then just take a picture of your sketch. I always sketch first. It just really helps a lot to have a sketch to give you a general idea of what you want to do. Of course, this does not look good at all, by no means, but it's just a rough sketch. I'm going to be using my Aya brush for my brush pack. If you want to grab the pack, the link is always in my bio. It's in my Etsy shop to get all 15 of them, but I will be using Aya for this. So from here, I will go ahead and add I started it as practice, but I'll add a new layer above. You could also lock your sketch, which I'm going to do, so I don't accidentally draw on it. And I'm just going to start drawing around the letters here, and then I'll fill them in to give them some texture with this brush. And I think I'll use this color palette. I kind of came up with this. I'm going to eventually put these in my Etsy shop, but for right now, I don't have them up. But basically, I like to keep the brush pretty small, but not too small. And I just go around them. Like this. And then I'll fill them all in, or you could outline them first. And then I like to switch colors as I go, just to keep it fun. Otherwise it gets kind of boring looking at the same color for the whole design. And then at the end I can always change the colors if I don't like how they look. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions about Procreate or lettering. But I will try to show all my steps as I go. I tried to pick a shorter quote for this, and then if I have time, I'll try to do something else at the end, but figured I would at least start with this. Because I'll show you in a little while what I did last night on the live. It was a similar style, but then, like I said, it was deleted. I think I'll use the green. And you don't have to follow your sketch perfectly. Make a big kind of gap for the inside of the R. That. Sorry, I had low battery. So relaxing to watch. Aw, thank you. It's fun to color them in. It's very relaxing, honestly. And I try to stagger the colors. I don't normally go live this early in the day, so it's a little bit different. but I am Zooming with my cousins tonight, so I won't be able to do it tonight. Okay, this T I made really long, so I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that. Hi, Lily. Yay, I went early enough that you could join. Okay, I want to shut off the background and see how it's looking. Okay, I'm going to move this down a little bit. So I use this selection tool. I clicked off of it and go to freehand. And now I draw around what I want to move. Like that. And then go to the arrow. And now I can move it down. And that looks a lot better. How do you come up with your color palettes? Honestly, I've developed an eye for color. For a while, I would take inspiration from Pinterest, but honestly, a lot of it now is just natural and I gravitate towards certain colors. Yeah, I'm going to bed soon though, because I do have class in the morning. Aw, I'm glad you came on, even just to say hi. And stay as long as I can. Sounds good. Okay, let's see how this looks though. I think I might have to redo it. I might end up moving the O. I don't know, I have to figure out what I want to do. I might overlap it with the T, but for now I'm leaving it. And I'll fix it at the end. Actually, I'm going to change the O to this yellow instead. That way I can make the P red. Otherwise, I'm going to have yellow and then yellow. Yeah, color palettes. Sorry, I have to pause to read. Color palettes are very difficult for me still. I don't have an eye for that yet. Yeah, I did not have a good eye for it for a really long time, but practicing it really helped. A lot. That was probably one of my biggest struggles was color. Hi from Indonesia. Hi. Hi from New York. I'm all the way in New York. What time is it where everybody is watching from? It's like, oh no. This keeps happening to me when I try to draw around a letter and then I zoom in. It always thinks that my finger is like drawing around the shape and then it goes off and I have to redo it. I'm going to move this up a tiny bit to give some space with the O. Yeah, my two color is still a big struggle for me. Once I find colors I like, yes, I tend to stick with them as well. And then what I'll do, which I'll show you quickly, like I know these colors look pretty good together, or at least I think they do. So I will go to settings and I'll change the hue. And now I'll get new color palettes out of it, but they still look good together, if that makes sense. So that's a fun little trick that I am gonna undo. Okay. And then my feet just are the same colors, but I'm getting better at changing them. Yeah, it's fun to play around with different colors too. I tried to stick to making my feed all consistent with like certain colors and I got really bored with that. So definitely more fun for me to play around with new things every day. Okay, I think I want to make the T extend even further to the right. 11:12 p.m. All right, it's not that late. I thought it would be a little bit later. All right. So because this is a textured brush, when I draw over it, you can see here the texture gets taken away because it's drawing over itself. So I'm going to attempt to do it on a new layer and then erase away the spots that overlap, if that makes sense, to bring back the texture there. But yeah, maybe this is a good time for me to go live. I usually like to go live closer to nighttime because everyone in my house is usually busy and it's less awkward. But we'll see. All right, I'm gonna move the O down. What do you guys think? Do you like the T extended out? Okay, I'm going to bed, and yeah, it's not bad, but I gotta wake up early. Yes, definitely get to bed. Thank you for joining, though. Okay, yeah, do you guys like the T extended like that? Love it. Okay, I think I'll leave it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave everything as is. And then in my sketch here, I had some little doodles. So I'm going to actually draw out the smiley face. I guess I'll do it in yellow. I think that would make the most sense. Just a happy color. Like that. And then taking the eraser, it's just set to monoline the eraser. That's like my favorite erase setting. I'm getting rid of his, or not getting rid of, giving him eyes. And let's shut the background. I always struggle with the mouth. Hold on. Let's do this. I feel like I need to make the mouth slightly thinner. Like that. It's hard to make it look cute and not creepy. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah, when it's on a Friday, I don't mind staying up that late. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Wait, is tomorrow Friday? Maybe tomorrow I'll go live later. Or not later, around this time, but on a Friday instead. I'm losing track of the days. Okay, so I want to make this star. That was just like me showing you that the brush is too thick. So what I do is duplicate on the brush. That way if I want to go back and do anything else, like with the letters, I'll still have this brush size. But this one on top, I'm going to shrink down. So now I can make this star. Fill it in. And one more thing, I wanted to do a heart. And I guess I'll do that in red because that again would make sense. And I also haven't used red in this area yet. So maybe I'll make it an open heart. Like that, maybe. And just leave it like that. I kind of like make this dies because I do want to post it to my story after. That way if anybody missed it and they wanted to watch, they can watch it after. I think I'm going to redo the P. It's, I don't know, it looks a little small. So also I'm going to pinch these layers together to combine that part of the T with the rest of the T. I'm going to add a new layer. Grab the original brush size that I did the words with, and I'm on a new layer. I'm gonna pick a random color like pink and kind of draw over this just to give me an idea of the size. But this way I can make it a tiny bit bigger. And then I'll change it to red and I'll show you what I'll do from here. I'm going to shut off, I'm going to duplicate the background. And now I'm going to actually shut off the upper P, the new one that I'm going to change the color of in a minute. And on this duplicated layer, I'm going to erase. This way, if I decide I liked the first P better, I still have it. That's why I duplicate, bring that new P back, and I'm going to zoom in to get the red. Drag it in. I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss comments. But feel free to ask any questions. If you're just joining, I'm using the Aya brush from my brush pack. The link to these brushes, the link is in my bio. If you want to purchase the pack, you get 15 brushes, but Aya is the one I used for this. It has a nice texture to it. Okay, so I think that's good, but I'm going to make some more colors out of this. So first I just want to pinch these together to combine that new P with it. So now everything is together on one layer. I'm going to duplicate, shut off the background, or not the background, shut off the original colors. And I want to recolor this. So I'm going to go up to the top, hue, saturation, go to layer if you have the new update. Actually, that's kind of cool to show you guys if you haven't played with this. So if you click on pencil, and let's say you change the hue down here. Sorry, I should probably show you further this way because I know the comments block it. So now you can actually draw in certain spots and it'll change the hue of that area. Whereas, I'll show you in a second, if you go to layer, instead it'll change the whole layer. So you could actually just change one section if you click on pencil, which is kind of cool. So now I can change all the greens to a more blue color, which there are of course other better ways to do that, but that's one little trick. Somebody commented, just found your page today. I want to say you're amazing, and I'm already, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You are the sweetest. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm following you back. So I'm screenshotting that just in case I'm not. Hi Tarley. Oh my gosh, I think I said it right. I always question that, but I said your name in my reel today. So hopefully I said it right today, just now, and on my reel. But okay, so yeah, and then if you go on here and you go to hue, saturation, brightness, but on layer, and you change the hue, it's going to change everything. So yay. Okay, so sorry, I thought I was clicked on it. So now if you change the hue down here, you're changing everything if it's on layer. So that's often how I get new color palettes. I mean, that doesn't look great, but you can also go up here to color balance layer and play with just say magenta. You can see that's just changing the colors that have some pinks in them, or make these ones more green. So you could play with it that way. Can you please save this live? Yes, that's my plan. I was gonna do it last night if you were on my live last night, but unfortunately my phone died at the end, so everything got deleted. So unfortunately I couldn't post that, so I felt so bad because I told everybody I would post it and then I didn't. So this is hopefully to make up for that. So I'm definitely posting this for you guys. Okay, I think I want to change the pink because these two look way similar, so I'm going to change just the pink. Maybe let's see how this looks. that. I kind of like that. Hi, Talia. Yesterday I bought brushes and I'm in love. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. The link is in my bio if anybody wants to purchase. This is the full brush pack. You get 15 brushes. Yeah, so actually I got a question today in my DMs asking me about Procreate Pocket, if my brushes work in the Pocket version of the app, which is just for the iPhone. So I downloaded it today to make sure, and they do work. So I'm going to actually show you on the iPad something that you would need to know. If you use your finger, which you could also do this on iPad instead, but if you use your finger for certain brushes, like I'm going to show you with Kenzie, the original Kenzie. Let me make this bigger. It's kind of hard to, okay, it's not doing it. Hold on, let me grab a brush that it was doing that with. Maybe Kenzie 2.0. It's not really doing it, but sometimes at the end of the stroke, the brush will be like pointy on one end instead of squared off. So what you want to do is pull it down and then slightly back up. So like you would go back over it a little bit. It's really hard to show because it's not really doing it here. I was doing it more on the phone app, but that's how you would fix that if you want to buy it on the phone. Just wanted to say that. But all of the brushes work in the Pocket version as well. I just purchased your brushes and they are the most amazing brushes I've ever used. Thank you so much. Oh my god, thank you. Yay. I love seeing your comments like that, and I love seeing everybody tagging me in. So if you use the brushes and put up a post, tag me in the caption and in the actual ow, I hit my knee, in the actual post as well. That way I don't miss it, because I do get tagged in quite a bit throughout the day. So if I don't see it right away, I will likely miss it. So if you tag me in the actual photo, I won't miss it. And I'm sharing everything to my story, or at least trying to. If you use the brushes, try to make it like a little bit clearer if it's not like very obvious that it's one of the brushes. That way I know that's why you tagged me. That way I know to share it. Yeah, because sometimes I get tagged in random things, like people will just tag random accounts, which I manually approve all my posts, and I never approve those. So if it's not clear why I was tagged, I will probably delete it just because I get really random things. Thanks for I'm not reading this correctly. Thanks for sharing your tips. Hope to one day be able to create graphics like yours. Aw, thank you. And you guys are so sweet, and I'm glad to hear that it's helpful. But I'm going to show you in a second my posts or my designs from the beginning of the year so you could see my progress. Do you use a matte, paper-like, any screen protector? I can't decide. Yes, so the one I use is a matte screen protector. It's by the brand ICAREZ. You could get it on Amazon. You get like 2 in the pack. I've only used 1 so far, and I've had this for like almost a year now. So it's held up really, oh my gosh, I just threw my Apple Pencil. But it's held up really well. So definitely recommend the matte one. The paper-like I've heard is very good, but it wears through the tips of the Apple Pencil a lot quicker because it's like rough on rough. So I like the matte one. I've still gone through a bunch of these, but I think it's a little bit better than using the paper-like. Just give me 1 second and I'm going to scroll back to the beginning of my Procreate so you could see my first design. But I want to answer the rest of these questions. Thank you for being so helpful. I'm a beginner and I'm learning so much from you. Aw, you're welcome. I'm happy to help, and it's fun doing the lives, even though it's a little scary to think so many people are watching. Okay, 2 more questions. I draw on Pocket, some ideas for beginners. So, I have to think about that. Pocket, honestly, I would say whatever you do always sketch first. That's the best way I get out some ideas, is just taking out a sketchbook and just doodling and seeing what I come up with. So I would recommend that. I need to go cook now, but sending you all my love and can't wait to rewatch your live later. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. And I missed a comment. Sending you and your pupper love. Thank you so much. She's doing really, really well. She does not have to wear the cone anymore, so we're relieved about that, and she's definitely happy about that too. But we'll know in a week if it is cancerous or not. But we're just really, really, really happy that her chest x-ray was clear, because, you know, that was the biggest concern. It's still possible that if it is cancer, that it could spread or could have spread already, but the chest was clear, so that's really, really good. Okay, so this is like one of my first designs. I redid a bunch of these on my reels, so if you want to watch those, it's kind of fun to see the change from the beginning of the year. So here's one of those designs. I'll try to show a few more. Yeah, look, hello 2020. Didn't know what this year was gonna bring, but this was one of my first. I wish you could see the date. Is there a way to see when this is done? I guess not. But yeah, I obviously did this at the beginning of the year when I got my iPad. Procreate is annoying and makes you scroll back down. This one, Find a Way. One of my early designs. So basically, I'm just trying to say you can make so much progress by practicing. So every day of the year, like from January to at least the middle of March, I would say, I did at least one design a day, and that was like my goal, to do at least one thing a day and post one a day. And, you know, that really helped make progress. This was one of my very early designs too. I don't know what these little things are coming out of here. It kind of looks scary. Oh, I think you can see the date in the Canvas tab. Let's see if... Let me try that on the next one. I still like this design. This is a pretty early one as well, but I think this one's still... I still like that one a lot. But let me see. Canvas information, maybe? Ah, yes. Okay. January 9th, 2020 is when this one is from. So that's cool. Thank you. I didn't know you could do that. Let's see what else. Begin Somewhere. I don't think I redid this yet, but I want to redo that one for sure. I've been redoing so many of them. But yeah, and then I'll scroll back up. Hold on, I have some things here that I'm working on for people, so I want to make sure I don't show that. But yeah, so this was what I just did, and then here's something I did earlier today. This is with one of my brushes that will be in my new brush pack. It's not out yet. I'm still making a design with every brush, but this was one of them. So I did this one earlier today. I might add some space between the lines, but I have to look at it again later. I did this on live last night. Same technique that I did today. This is the Aya brush also. But yeah, if you are just starting out, just remember you can make a ton of progress if you keep practicing. So don't give up, and don't feel like you're not good enough, and don't compare to other designers, because that is the biggest mistake that you can make. You are on your own journey and your own path, and as long as you are pushing yourself to do better and practicing, you will get there. I don't think I posted this yet, but I did this recently. I've been losing track of what I've posted and what I haven't posted. It's really bad. Or like sometimes I can't remember if I did a quote or didn't do it. Like I literally can't remember half the things I've done now. This little guy with the ghosts. I have Halloween ghost, well, not just ghosts, stamps, Halloween stamp, a stamp pack. I haven't really promoted this very much, but a bunch of little Halloween designs. like you get cats, skulls, you get bats, but these ghosts that are in here are from that. You get some little stars and a witch's hat, some pumpkins, so that's also in my Etsy. The link's in my bio for that. What else can I show you guys? This is what I posted yesterday. I really, really liked how this turned out. I used a slightly different technique with this, but honestly I can't even remember how I did this because I did it a while ago. I did it on my reel, so if you're interested in that, I have a reel for that. What else? But yeah, I'm trying to redo my own logo and it is not going very well. Can't think of any ideas, but here's another design. This one I did with Kenzie 2.0. Let me get back to it. Here's Kenzie 2.0. That's what I did this design with. That one, the Kenzie 2.0 brush, works really well to just like draw out your letters as you would on paper. So like, you know, you don't have to do anything crazy with this brush. So that's a good beginner brush. Let me undo this before I make it permanent. Let me scroll back up because, yeah, so someone asked, what size do you normally set your canvas? So I always make it screen size. And I will normally from there, once I have my, or I could go back to the one I just did. Once I have the design finished, I actually will go ahead and go to canvas, crop, and resize. And I just clicked off of it. And what I will do from here is I'll drag this out to look like a square and like fit nicely in it, and then I will, from there, I will go to settings and then look at these numbers and make them match. So like if this is 2323, I'll change this number to match that. I'm not too crazy about making it perfect in terms of like the resolution and everything for Instagram posts, just because for one, yes, I'll do that in 1 second for you about the 3 lines. It's just, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't go crazy at making the resolution perfect for my Instagram posts because I feel like, for one, it would be easier for somebody to screenshot and, you know, print off or whatever they want to do with my designs if the resolution is really crisp. So I don't go crazy with that, but there's probably a better way to do the canvas size and like you could change the DPI to 300 if you want it to be super, super crisp, but I don't go too crazy. If I'm making a print, I will always bring my design into Illustrator and vectorize it to make sure it's not pixelated. So, okay, I got one more comment and then I'm going to do the 3 lines. When I post something, I go back into Procreate, add another layer, mostly transparent, so I can still see the design. That is so smart. Wow. I need to start doing that. Thank you. That's a really good tip. Okay. So about the 3 lines, let me do that. So if you are using, let me shut this layer. Let's say you're using the Addy brush. I'm just going to draw out a line here like this. And you want to color each line a different color. What you want to do is pick a color, let's say this pink, and you're going to drag it into whatever line you want it in. And you see how it only filled in that line and not the whole thing? You see up at the top, I didn't let go with my pencil, it's still on the screen. You see where it says color drop threshold? If you drag your hand all the way to the right, it's going to fill in all 3 lines. And if you drag it more to the left, it'll just fill in that one. And then you can lift up your hand, and now from here, if I drag in a different color into the bottom, it's going to fill in just that line, but if I drag my hand more to the right, it would probably, well, it will definitely color in everything, and it'll change the color of the pink, so you can see what happens when you do that. So that's how you get different colors in each line. And I also have a full IGTV on that, and how to like let's say you want to write out letter B. Well, that was terrible, but I need to do that on a separate layer. Hold on. Add a new layer. And from here, you would draw out your shape that you want. Let's say you're making I'll do letter R just because it's one less step. Now you're going to go to this, tap this layer, and click on mask. So basically a mask, from here you want to grab your monoline, your basic monoline, and make sure it's turned to black. With a mask, if you're selected on black, you see it's going to start erasing. And now let's say I accidentally did that. If you now go onto white instead, and you draw over that, it's going to bring it back. So that's why I recommend using a mask for this. But make your brush pretty small, like let's say this size. I didn't do this well at all, so it's not going to look very good. But I would go like that to draw the little gap between like the loop of the R and this part of the R. And now I can go ahead and move this down. I have a little more erasing to do. And then let's say I wanted to do it. Oh, I'm still on the mask. Okay, now you want to pinch these to get rid of the mask, or to combine the mask and erase away permanently whatever you just did. And now I can grab, let's say, the brown and fill it in on this line. And then let's say the pink over here. And now I have like that. So that's how I get the multicolored look using the multi-lined brushes. And then I would probably add another layer here to do the next part of the R. So do that and drag it out and move it like this. You could also mask and, make this a little bit more curved here if you wanted to, but just to save time, I'm going to skip that. And like that. So that is how I do that technique with the multi-line brushes. But I do have a full IGTV on that. If you want to check that out, I go more into detail. And, I think you can pause and stuff and follow it a little bit more easily. Any other questions? Let me pull this back up before I lose it, because sometimes if I turn off a layer, like if I left it like this and then I went back to my gallery and then I'm looking for this design later, it takes me forever to figure out which canvas had this on it. Thank you so much. I love your feet. Aw, thank you. What else can I show you guys? I did have another quote in here that I was considering doing instead. But let's see what time it is and if I have time. Okay, I can start doing this quote here for a little bit. We'll see what I get through. But I'm going to put this on a new canvas, that way I don't get confused. So to copy, I'm just going to the arrow and then 3 fingers swipe down to copy. I think you could also I saw this, you can drag your layer to the gallery. Or no, you have to click gallery. Wow, this is hard to do with one hand. And then you could drag it into a new layer. And there it is. Okay, so there's a cool little trick. You can drag multiple layers too at the same time that way. All right, I will start this and we'll see how far I get. I can't stay on super long just because I have to have dinner. And then my cousins and I are having a little cousin Zoom hangout tonight. Now that my cousin is back at college, we haven't gotten to hang out, so yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use the Aya brush again for this. Same technique that I did a little while ago. Hopefully I can post this entire thing to my story. Like, hopefully there's not a limit. And now I'm gonna fill it in. But yeah, it's honestly really relaxing to fill in the the letter like this rather than color dropping, like dragging in and filling it in, which would not give you that texture either, but it's relaxing to do it that way. Just want to change this color. And trace again. But yeah, the Aya has some nice texture in it. So I've been really enjoying this technique. I bounce around with different techniques and then I like get so into doing it that I won't want to do any of my other lettering styles for a little bit, but that's okay. But I try to stagger them when I post, at least, so they're not all in a row or like using all the same colors in a row. Let me shut the background. And I want to move the M down. So again, I'm using this selection and keeping it on freehand, and then I draw around the letter I want to move like that. And now I'll put back on the sketch. But yeah, if you only have an iPhone and not an iPad, the Pocket version does work with the brushes. I tested it out today, so I now have the Pocket version, so that's kind of cool. So I guess I could play with this. Not that I'm ever away from my iPad, especially now, being that I'm always home. It's looking great, thank you. So I did the kind of weird, like, on the side, because I didn't want to put the on its own line, because that would look kind of weird. So we'll see if that looks weird at the end. But I'm going to skip the and do best for now. On a new layer. Okay. But I don't always follow the sketch too closely. It's just more for a general idea of how I want to lay it out. Otherwise, it's really overwhelming to just look at a blank canvas and say, this is going to go here, this is going to go here. It just works out way better to do it this way. Is this a custom brush? This is one of my brushes from my brush pack. It's in my Etsy shop. The link to this whole pack is in my bio, but this is the Aya brush, the one I'm using right now, if you want to try that out. But I really love the texture of it. This one works nicely to just write out your letters as normal letters as well, like how you would on paper. But I've recently discovered that it's fun to do like more bubbly letters like this and then fill them in. Do you think Procreate is helpful / easier than Illustrator? That is such a good question. My answer to that is kind of hard because I feel like they're very different. So I basically use them together. What I do is I will design in Procreate and then I'll bring it into Illustrator to vectorize it and, clean it up. But I use them together, but I also feel like they're very, very different. I feel like Procreate is a little bit more controllable, if that makes sense. So if you want to draw, it's a lot easier to do in Procreate than in Illustrator. But Illustrator is better for certain things. So my answer is kind of hard. I feel like both of them are really helpful and useful if you are a designer. Yes, it's such a nice texture. Definitely going to consider getting them. Oh, thank you. The texture really is so lovely. Yeah, I'm very happy with the texture of this brush. Some of my brushes that are coming out, I don't have a date yet for the new pack, but I'm trying to make some more with some nice texture in that pack as well. Just adds a little something to the design. Hi, Rosie. All right, now I'm gonna shut off that background and see how it's looking. All right, I think the B, I need to rotate it just a little. So I'm using the selection tool, drawing around it, clicking the arrow, and now I can rotate that just a tiny bit and see how this looks. All right, gonna put the background on again, and I think of this, the letters look way smaller than I make, so I might make them a little bigger when I actually draw them. So, just a little bigger than they actually are in my sketch. Just to make up for the size difference. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this H being tucked under the H, but wait, the H being tucked under the T, but we'll see. Once it's done, lots of playing around. The color scheme is so cute. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be releasing a bunch of color palettes soon, but I want to figure out how I want to do it, because I tend to gravitate towards say 6 colors in a palette rather than having the entire palette full. So they would probably be smaller sets, but you'll get a lot of them, if that makes sense. So it'll be I'll show you guys. So this one that I'm using right now, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, and then this would be the background, so that background looks nice with those colors. So that's how I would do it, I think. But because you get less colors per palette, I would make them packs. So you would get I don't know how many packs, how many sets of colors per pack. But that's how I'm thinking about doing it. I haven't fully decided yet. I have too many ideas and things I want to do. So we'll see where that goes. All right, I'm gonna shut this off. Ooh, I actually like the H like that. I'm gonna end up raising up make and lowering down this. I don't like this spacing between the words or between the lines, but for now I'm gonna leave it and continue on. I think I'm going to use this color again here. Do you guys think that this time works better for you as opposed to if I went live? Usually I go live around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today I went live around I think it was 5 p.m. I don't even know what time it was, but 5 Eastern Standard Time instead. Does that work better? Because I feel like a lot more people are on right now. What is the name of this brush? This one is Aya, A-Y-A-H. But yeah, if this time works out better, I can try to go live more around this time, which would actually probably be a little better for me. But I kind of figured more people would be home later in the day. That way everybody is home from work when I work or school when I would go on. But this seems to be a good time. I'm Mountain Time. This works for me. Okay. Wow, good to know. Okay, so maybe I'll try to plan more around this time. Not that I usually plan them. Usually it's 30 minutes before. I'm okay, I'm gonna go live. And then I never have a full plan. Okay, sounds good, guys. I will try to go live more around this hour. And I'm gonna try to post a lot more of my lives to my story. All right, now I'm gonna move this down a little. That looks way better. not happy with make being all the way over there, even though I know the is going here. So I think it's on its own layer actually. I'm gonna see if I could get around this somehow. Make, because I still have to fit the, maybe I'll make the letters go down and like make them smaller. So let's see. Just like this. I think I have another question that I maybe missed. Can you show how you change the color? Oh yeah, I answered those questions. Okay. Just want to make sure I got to everybody's question. Maybe like that. I don't know how I want to do this part. I think I want to make the brush smaller. Oops. I don't know if that's even readable if I do it that way. Do you think that that looks like the, because it's kind of out of order? Because I want it to take up this space here. I'll try something else. But yeah, a lot of this is just playing around and seeing what looks good and just experimenting. Sometimes you have a great idea, sometimes a not so great idea. But just keep pushing yourself and you will find something that works eventually. Maybe like this. And then I'll change the colors. Maybe like that. And then I'll change each of these to a new color. I kind of like that. Make the best of this. So I think I'll leave it like that. I want to move the O down a tiny bit. This O, I'm definitely not on the right layer. Okay. Move it down. And maybe I'll move H over this H. Well, that's the only H. Oh, no, that's not the only H, but, oh no. Hold on, guys. I drew on the S. There we go. Moving it over. Like that. That looks so good. Thank you. All right, I think I'm going to leave it. I want to move this more into the center. So I'm going to pinch everything to combine into one layer. Move it more centered, at least visually centered. That maybe. So that is going to be it. I'm going to hop off, but if you have any last minute questions, feel free to ask. And then I'm going to head off, but I will post this onto my story if you want to watch it over or if you didn't catch the whole thing. But yeah, if you want my brushes, the link is in my bio. You get 15 brushes. There are a bunch of multiple lined ones like Addie, Kayla, then there's Tarlay and Kira, which are 2 lines. Melanie and Emily are 3 lined, but more spaced out. Maddie and Mary are more like rough edged. Kenzie is really easy to work with if you're a beginner. Kenzie is really squared off. Erin has a nice texture to it as well as Abby. And yeah, Aya is what I use for this. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll try to go live again around this time, maybe tomorrow, so stay tuned. And all right, guys, I'll see you later.